And Matthew from Plastic Tombstone.
And this is I Heard Something About That.
A podcast where we kind of rack our brains on things we heard about.
Yeah. We got some of the information, not all of it. We're going to share some with you.
Yeah, share a little bit.
Today we're going to talk about Shaq Fu, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Jeff Goldblum, Injustice, some more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, and probably talk about the greatest news that ever happened, the McDonald's Frork.
Oh, good.
That is not the greatest news that ever happened. But let's start with some video game stuff.
Let's go.
So Shaq Fu started a Kickstarter to make a sequel, and it got funded, and now there's a Shaq Fu sequel. The Legend Reborn is coming for Nintendo Switch.
That's the game. That's the game Nintendo needed to get back on top of the console wars.
Just give me some Shaq. Wasn't Shaq Fu like terrible though? Right?
Yes, it was.
That's when you just like took a celebrity and threw him into a video game, and they didn't know anything about it.
Pretty much.
Because I don't remember Shaq being like a martial artist whenever he was playing basketball. I just remember Shaq being tall, and that was it. Wasn't that his basketball thing? He was tall?
Yeah. I mean, God, he's like the biggest spokesperson for anything, though. Like,
yeah, you put him in there, and
it's like here's buy some Gold Bond, and it's just him smiling, like holding Gold Bond.
It works.
Taco Bell, here he is, smiling, holding Taco Bell.
Did he spokesman for Taco Bell and Gold Bond?
Wasn't he a spokesman for Taco Bell at one point?
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was a spokesman for a lot of things.
Because wasn't that in like in that Shazam movie? Kazam?
Oh yeah.
Because didn't he like wish for Taco Bell to fall from the sky or something?
I think it was fast food fall from the sky.
But there was like a bunch of burritos in there.
My God, we just fell down a rabbit hole of Kazam. When's the last time you saw Kazam?
Oh, I think the last thing I seen was like the Nostalgia Critic review it, and that's probably the last time I've seen anything to do with that.
God, I've seen it was like 10 years ago probably when I watched
that awful movie.
Just Shaq coming out of a boombox, and then he wanted for some reason he got a rap career. Like the genie just got a rap career. I don't know where that came in to the plot.
He was not good at all.
He was not good at all. But he had magic, so that worked on his side. Not Magic Johnson, just magic in general.
I miss the 90s.
90s were great, man. We're rewatching Are You Afraid of the Dark? And it's just as good as I remember, if I can say that. It's better than Goosebumps. But I didn't realize that the second episode of that series was the clown one, the cigar clown one.
Yeah.
Do you remember his name?
No, I don't.
Zebo the Clown.
Yep, Zebo. Okay, yep.
He stole his cigar. Was it terrifying to you as a child?
Absolutely. Scared the crap out of me.
Were you scared of clowns? Like, as a kid, was that the scariest thing, or was it just that one?
I wasn't scared of clowns. It's just he was really creepy to me.
Yeah. That's what my girlfriend said. She said, just look at him. He's terrifying. Because he came out and he had that, like, he didn't look like a person. He had, like, that elongated face. And the kid stole his nose, and they stalked him, essentially, with cigar smoke.
Well, there's another one where he steals a kid steals a doll or something. And
The Tale of the Crimson Clown.
Yeah,
that
one really scared me because
the arms come out of the TV.
Yeah,
and they came after him.
There's like a scene where like his head it blows up into like a nose sign or something, and explodes or something.
Something like that. I haven't gotten that far.
It was really weird.
There's 7 seasons of that show over 10 years. If you can explain that one to me.
If you like weird shows like that, though, do you remember Erie, Indiana?
Vaguely, yes. I can't recall any of the episodes, but I remember it being...
It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but if you get a chance, if you get done watching Are You Afraid of the Dark, check out Erie, Indiana. It's pretty cool, too.
Is it kind of the same
context? It's kind of like you follow these kids in this town and everything's just really weird.
For some reason, when you said that, I went to Young Indiana Jones, and I don't know why I did. I know they're completely different shows.
It's nothing like that. It's literally like, I think one of the episodes is like, they meet this mom who keeps her kids in like Tupperware to like keep them young. They sleep in like Tupperware beds. It's called Foreverware.
Jesus, that is weird.
Yeah,
it sounds weird.
The whole town has like all these weird things going on.
It's like Twin Peaks or Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely has a Pete and Pete vibe. So I think you'll like it.
We'll check that out. I also heard that Tales from the Crypt is coming back. No, is it Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side?
I think it's Tales from the Crypt. I think I heard that too.
Yeah, I think M. Night Shyamalan's like producing it or something.
I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know.
I don't know if I like that or not.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Split was really good. His newest one?
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was really good. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
definitely,
it's a step up from what he was doing.
yeah, it's not the happening.
Or After Earth.
Ugh.
Did you watch After Earth?
I didn't.
Whew. You should watch it. If you're a fan of terrible acting, you should watch it.
I don't know. It looked really boring.
It's pretty boring. But it's got Jaden Smith acting his heart out, and it's not great. It is not great at all.
What was our original point? Where were we going?
we started talking about Shaq Fu. We're down a rabbit hole of 90s stuff. But
okay, so yeah, Shaq Fu coming to the Nintendo Switch. I don't care.
I'm interested to see what it looks like, actually, because fighting game, you know. Maybe it'll actually be good compared to...
If it's good, then it'll taint its legacy.
It's true. You have to be terrible at something, you know. But anyway, speaking of fighting games, we saw Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite story trailer this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm really glad that they're doing a storyline mode in this game because I think Capcom's been missing that with a lot of their fighting games. Like, I get so sick of seeing still pictures or like really short cutscenes.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat really kind of changed things when they did that story mode where you kind of play through different characters and play through the whole story as different characters. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, and it looks like at the end of the original teaser, we were like, who is that? Because there was a villain.
Yeah.
And apparently it is Ultron, which was what we guessed, but it's also Sigma from Mega Man X, who was the villain in that, and they
like combined,
merged and became Ultra Sigmon or something like that.
God, wouldn't that be cool if they did like a storyline in that game where like they combine the Marvel and the Capcom characters? Like you could do like a super move where they combine into like one character for a little bit or something.
That could be cool, but that's a lot of combinations.
It is, but do it anyways.
Yeah.
We have the technology now. Just do it.
He says that's a lot of work, but do it anyway. Design a bunch of characters. That's thousands of combinations though.
Well, I don't mean like they can just merge with anybody. I mean like
certain ones.
Yeah, so like your two main characters like Ryu and Spider-Man combine together to make Ryu Man or whatever.
Yeah.
Spider Ryu.
So who did they say? They showed Chun-Li in there. They showed Chris Redfield.
Yeah.
Mega Man X.
of
And
course Iron Man and
yeah,
Thor.
all the ones that were in the original one. And then Rocket Raccoon was at the end.
Yeah.
And he looks like the Marvel movies Rocket Raccoon.
Well, they said that I think they did say this game was going to kind of focus around the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some ways. Like obviously Thor wasn't the movie Thor.
Yeah.
Probably because of likeness issues and all that. Like,
yeah. But I mean, as long as the main ones are kind of, you know, the animated ones, it would make sense for Deadpool to kind of look like Deadpool.
Right, if he's going to be in it.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Well, they said last I heard about this was that the X-Men characters and Fantastic Four characters would be available as downloadable content later.
Man, that always bums me out, man.
I just wish the studios would get over this trying to make franchises out of characters that are all part of the same universe.
Yeah.
Just work with Marvel Studios, like just make them all one big thing. Everybody makes money. Yeah. The fans are happy. We have everything together. You can branch off and to do whatever, you know. It can make a whole web of new series.
Yeah. And maybe Spider-Man will help that when it comes out.
I hope so.
And maybe people will kind of see that. I think that's the only way Hugh Jackman said he would come back is if somehow he got to be in an Avengers type movie, which would be cool to see Wolverine in with all those people.
Yeah. 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 Hopefully, like you said, hopefully Spider-Man does kind of show, because I think one of the reasons the Amazing Spider-Man movies, like, they weren't good, but they weren't terrible.
Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons people just kind of like to them is we know it was not going to ever wind up being part of the cinematic universe. It's always going to be a standalone thing.
Yeah, you always had to like separate them from what was really happening that was growing and growing, because that's the reason 2 was so convoluted. They tried to turn Amazing Spider-Man 2 into a prequel to Sinister Six, so they could make the Spider-Man Ultimate Universe, but it just didn't work because Marvel was already working hard at doing that.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like, in my opinion, what DC's trying to do is they're trying to build a universe too fast.
Yeah.
And you got to let that stuff breathe, and Marvel proved that it'll pay off if you just let it breathe. If you just if the second Iron Man movie had Thor and Captain America in it instead of giving them their own shot before you tried to do that, it would have felt rushed too.
Right.
Because you got to give those characters room to breathe and grow, and as we've seen from Thor, he's growing into a character that's much better than what he was.
Yeah, yeah. The third movie looks way more ridiculous than the first two, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. And speaking of fighting games, still Justice 2 is coming out super soon.
Yeah.
And they have tons of characters already that have been announced. I'll read them to you. We got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Aquaman, Gorilla Grodd, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Bane, Poison Ivy, Brainiac, Robin, Black Canary, Swamp Thing, Catwoman, Cheetah, Cyborg, Dr. Fate, Green Lantern, Firestorm, Green Arrow, Black Adam, Captain Cold, Scarecrow, Darkseid, and now Joker got announced this week. That's a big roster.
More characters, the better.
Yeah, and I think they have room for like nine more or something like that.
I wonder how many like secret characters, like guest characters, will be in there. Because I think the last one had Scorpion from Mortal Kombat as one of the characters, and things like that. And of course, there'll always be DLC, so there'll always be extra characters from that. So
I mean, I'm not a huge DC person, but that sounds like most of them, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not a huge DC person either, but the last game was really fun. So
yeah, any good fighting game, man.
Once again, there was a good story mode in it too, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, and Smash Brothers, I think. Was it Smash Brothers that probably did, or I guess Marvel vs. Capcom was the first one to kind of do that big crossover thing, right? Or was it Smash Brothers?
Actually, it was X-Men versus Street Fighter, I believe, was the first.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm always a fan of those crossover games. Whenever you can get your licenses aligned, and you can get others fighting others, you know, your favorite characters fighting your favorite characters, it's always a win.
Like Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Yeah.
It was a very random crossover.
It was a very random
fun game, though. But
yeah, I remember that one.
On the Wii.
On the Wii. And I got one more little bit of video game news. I guess For Honor's finally announced their second season. They got 2 new characters coming out for all you For Honor fans out there.
I do want to check that game out. That does look like fun.
It is really fun. It seems like when you're watching it, it seems a lot slower than it actually is with all the, because it's very much it can be very technical because you got to deal with guards and guard breaks and all that stuff. But they're adding a shinobi ninja to it and a Roman centurion, which is kind of cool.
Have you played it since you played Zelda?
Zelda still, I might have actually broken out of Zelda bubble a little bit. I got Horizon Zero Dawn and Mass Effect. Those are the 2 games I'm kind of playing when I'm not going to bed because I still play Zelda. I still look for Korok seeds when I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I still think Zelda's kind of broken me on most video games.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely difficult when I started playing Mass Effect to like realize that I couldn't like go anywhere, and
right.
I felt a little bit of the restrictions. But I'm kind of like realizing Zelda's sort of a different kind of game, so I just accept games for where they are. And I played that Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I haven't.
Where it's you're basically it's like the far future where it's like mankind has went extinct, but there's all this old technology left over, and there's like robot dinosaurs, and you're like you're a tribesman, and you got like teched out bows and arrows and stuff, and it's like an open world game where you got to like take out robot dinosaurs. It sounds crazy.
I think you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's really fun, and it makes you feel really cool because you can kind of do like you can kind of slide and jump and shoot your arrows, and you can kind of put everything in slow motion, kind of like Zelda does.
Is it a first person or a third person?
Third person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and you get like tethers, and you set traps for them, and you can kind of lure them into the traps and blow them up. And there's like sort of like dungeons called cauldrons that kind of like puzzle solving things, and you get to a part where the game where you can sort of override the dinosaurs and ride them / use them as pets to attack people and stuff. It's really fun. I like it. It's the first game that's broken me away from Zelda in a long time, but I read that the Zelda DLC is supposed to be coming out. So the first Zelda DLC is going to be a challenge cave, I think, and something else, some new map features or some weird stuff like that. And the second one, which comes out around Christmas, is supposed to be a full dungeon and a new storyline.
Huh.
Which, if you've beaten the game, I'm not going to say anything to Matt because Matt hasn't beaten the game yet, but there's room for it to expand and stuff. So it's very interesting to see what they're going to do with adding a new storyline in there.
They can keep adding on to that game for all I care. I want to play that game for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and I hope they do stuff with. My one thing I will say about Breath of the Wild is there's not a lot of interiors. Everything really takes place outside.
But that's kind of my problem with it. Is like anytime I get trapped inside of like any kind of dungeon or divine beast, I'm dying to get out of there.
Yeah.
I want to go back outside and explore.
But that's what I'm hoping is what they do is they open like mountains with cave systems in it and stuff. Because some of those mountains are huge. If you just put a door that magically appears because it is a Zelda game, then that mountain can be the dungeon and just load it up. You know, you can apparently, make shrines pop up anywhere in the world too, so you can add more shrines in there and all that stuff.
Sure.
There's one thing I would like, and I'm telling you, I think it would change the way I play the game if there was a Korok seed detector.
Yeah.
Like if you got near one, it started beeping.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, okay, so there's one close by. I guess it would beep all the time, but it would
beep all the time.
But it would also be like when you get to 800 and you have 100 left, you're not wandering forever in the same section. You're like, oh, I'm nowhere near one.
I know. I picked up like 3 and like.
Yeah, they're really close together. Yeah. I think, or even a feature where it asks, where it tells you how many seeds are in the section, so at least you know you got all in a section.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like something a little less daunting with, because I have 158 right now, and I actively look for them every time I'm playing, and I'm like, where are they? I'm wandering around forever, and I'm like, look, you find the rock patterns; those ones are easy.
Yeah.
But did you find the set of 3 trees that have the apples in it, and you have to make the apples match?
No.
That's one.
I did see the set of 3 trees. I was like, oh, I'm going to cut these down, see what happens. And I cut them down, and nothing happened. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you have to make the apples match. Like, you have to find out the one that has the least amount of apples, and then you have to make them all look the same.
Huh.
So if one has 2 apples hanging from this branch and this branch, you got to make the other ones look like that, and he'll pop out.
Huh. I had no idea.
There's even ones on the side of mountains, just hanging out on the side of mountains. I was like, how am I ever going to find that? It's very daunting.
Awesome game, though.
Yeah, very awesome game. And what else do I have?
We're going to change our name of our podcast to Breath of the Wild Praise Hour.
Such a good game, man. If you're lucky enough to have a Switch, definitely, you probably own it.
Or if you have a Wii U. I mean, I'm playing it on the Wii U, and I'm loving it.
Yeah. So if you have a Wii U, dust it off. Pick up Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess... Oh, yeah, one more thing. You and me were a big fan of Burnout Takedown. Best Burnout game, in my opinion. They went to Revenge and Paradise after it, and Revenge was pretty good, but then Paradise became like an open world game.
Yeah, we just loved the man. I remember we would put Sonata Arctica at full speed on our Xbox as the custom track list, man, and just let those cars smash into each other and
it was
slow
awesome.
motion, and that was awesome.
And the one thing Burnout Takedown didn't have that the original Burnout did was crash mode, where it was essentially like golf. You just had to line your car up perfectly and make as much damage as you could. And if you cause enough damage, you got to blow up. I think that happened. I don't know if it was in Takedown. It might have been. I think it might have got taken out. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. It's been a long time.
But the developers from the original Burnout who made that are making an actual game that's just a crash mode.
That's awesome.
With an Unreal 4 engine. So it's coming to Steam and PS4, I believe, sadly.
Oh, so I won't be playing it.
Yeah. Well, I'll get it.
I might play it on Steam. I don't know.
Yeah. But I always love a good crash game. So
yeah, if it plays a lot like the original one did that we played, Revenge.
Yeah,
I'll be all about it because that was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean it was just something about.
It was just very well presented. Like you caused all this mayhem and just the way it's slow motion and
you could guide your car and
just watching things explode. It was
and that was
cool.
And that was years ago.
Yeah.
So I imagine what it's going to look like now. I mean, because
I don't understand. Like, why is it like a lot of games, like, once they go to the next gen, you think, you imagine, like, all right, they're going to take and make what I loved about that game so much better graphics, bigger. But they're like, no, we're going to, like, strip it down and revamp it or something. Why do they do that crap?
Because sometimes it works.
And sometimes, a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, Breath of the Wild, we were just praising it, but it's a stripped down version.
But that's not a game that, like, actively comes out a lot. Like,
yeah.
You get a game every couple of years.
Yeah. But it did strip everything that was
Zelda
away.
But it's done that before, too, though. I mean,
it hasn't done it in a long time, though.
I mean,
it's always been like a progression.
Well, look at the Wind Waker. I mean, Wind Waker was a huge change.
Yeah. That was aesthetically changing, though. Not.
Yeah.
It was still like you get a couple dungeons, you get better equipment, and then you get more advanced dungeons. Breath of the Wild sort of just took all that away.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's the one thing about it that I will say I miss a little bit is really intricate dungeons. I think the Divine Beasts are good, but I miss like a big two-hour long dungeon. And I understand you can't do that because how do you present that in a progression way? Because that's what happened is you get to the last 2 or 3 dungeons and it's a progression. And we're back on Breath of the Wild again.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, hopefully this new Burnout game is going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely probably do some Let's Plays on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
We need to do some let's plays on the old one, man.
Oh yeah, Burnout Takedown. That was
Yeah.
fun. Have like a Burnout Takedown challenge and see, what was it, like 30 takedowns before your car erupted?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Burnout Takedown was the one where you raced, and you had to it was called Road Rage. Is the one we played all the time, where you just you race around, you crash, and try to take down as many of them as you can without wrecking too many times. And I think we got it up to like 30, 40 at one point, listening to Goldberg's theme song. if that tells you anything. And I guess one more little bit of information in the car genre is Mario Kart Deluxe came out on the Switch this week. And everybody is saying, wow, Mario Kart 8 was really good, and this one's just improves it.
Isn't this Mario Kart 8?
It is Mario Kart 8 with a revamped battle mode and a couple new maps and a bunch of new characters. It's all the DLC that was in Mario Kart 8, new battle mode, and a couple new maps.
That's cool, and it also kind of sucks.
It does.
It's like, F you, people who supported the Wii.
Yeah.
The Wii U.
I think Nintendo's trying to just be like, yeah, that Wii thing didn't happen. Let's take some of our best games and put them out.
Ignore the Wii U.
You got to admit, when it becomes more accessible and a lot of more people have it, it would be pretty cool to just play. You and me could have played an impromptu game of Mario Kart right now on the podcast because we would have it right in front of us. You know?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to have.
I'm not saying anything bad about the Switch.
It just sucks. Yeah. That always happens.
Because I really wanted to support the Wii U when it came out, and then it's just like,
I did too.
They kind of just gave up on it.
Yeah, it's just like, people don't really want this tablet thing.
And now I'm kind of scared of the Switch. Like, it seems really cool, but do I want to invest $300 in something that they're just going to kind of give up on, like, in a couple of years?
I mean, their sales numbers on it are huge. It's it's their fastest selling console in a long time.
I think a lot of it has to do with Breath of the Wild itself.
It's true. Yeah. Most people who have the Switch have Breath of the Wild. I can say that because you're playing that or you're playing Bomberman, and I don't think people will plunk it down $4 to play Bomberman. No offense to Bomberman out there, but so let's talk about some movie stuff. Jeff Goldblum's in Jurassic World 2, so that's exciting.
Cool. I didn't even watch the last one because I don't care.
It was good. It was it rode that nostalgia train a little bit. But
I don't know. I think the first one was all I probably ever needed. I think that should have been a one and done movie.
Yeah. Second one was meh. Third one was okay, but it was
Alan.
They had Talking Raptor. Everybody always cites that as the weirdest part, and it is the weirdest part of that franchise.
So he looks like he goes, Alan.
Like, nobody needs a talking raptor, like, ever. Jurassic World was good, though. A good nostalgia vehicle, good effects. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to see Jeff Goldblum back because I'll watch anything Jeff Goldblum's in. I don't know. For some reason, that guy cracks me up. Even when he's trying not to be funny, he is funny. Like in any independent. I haven't watched the new Independence Day, but he's just as bad in the original as he is. And what else? Oh, Guardians made $100 million internationally over the past week because it came out a week before it came out here.
We'll be going to see it Thursday.
Yeah, we'll probably see it Saturday. Maybe. On a lower volume day for me.
Unfortunately, we're busy this weekend, so it's like I have to do it Thursday or I don't get to see it on opening weekend.
So you want to talk about the reviews on that a little bit?
I just heard it's kind of like it's still good. I've heard it's a good Guardians movie. It's still a good movie overall, but it's not as good as the first one. That's just what I've heard. I mean, I don't always go by reviews. You can't always trust reviews, but
I think sometimes people have like expectations that are through the roof.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I heard they kind of split the group up and like everybody kind of followed their own little story. I think that's what I read.
Yeah. Which doesn't sound terrible.
It doesn't sound terrible, but I think it may be too soon. Like the first movie, you kind of had them come together, and I think the second movie you should have established them as a team, and then maybe the third one
and
split them up. Yeah. To try something a little different, but I can't wait to see it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and every review has kind of said, it's not a bad movie by any means. It's just not as good as the first one.
I wonder why people I like the first one, but I don't know if I hold it in the high esteem as like this crazy classic movie. It might be one of my favorite Marvel movies, but I don't know if I'm going to watch this and be like, why wasn't it more like the first one?
Yeah, I don't know. The first one I went into with no expectations. Like, I was just like,
maybe that was it.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't really give two shits about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And I went in and watched it, and I was like, man, that was a lot of fun. That was actually really good. Kind of like a Batman Begins, I did the same thing. I went into it thinking, God,
Batman Begins was so good.
It's my favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah, I think so.
I think part 2 is overrated. It was good. It just wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah.
Hey, so there was a WWE pay-per-view on last night.
Oh no, tell me about it.
And there was a match with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton called a House of Horrors match.
How'd that go?
Fucking ridiculous.
That was quite the jump. We went from, what were we talking about? Batman to wrestling. But let's hear about the House of Horrors match.
Basically, Randy Orton rides in a limousine shirtless and wearing pants and elbow pads to his decrepit house, and he's walking around there doing like all these jump cuts and stuff, trying to make like a horror movie. It looks like a movie. And then him and Bray Wyatt kind of beat each other up in a house, and it's really ridiculous because it's wrestling fighting in this horrible decrepit house. It kind of reminded me of Davenport.
Oh my God! Shout out to Davenport, and shout out to anyone who gets that reference.
Yeah, no one's gonna get that one.
Nobody's gonna get that reference.
It reminds us of the days when me and you back right after high school were making dumb movies when we found this decrepit house and basically destroyed
Beat the
it.
shit out of each other in it. Yeah,
that's kind of what it reminded me of. So basically, the match is like Bray Wyatt drops a refrigerator on Randy Orton.
What is this, Tiny Toons?
He should be dead. I mean, right? Do you think he would be dead if he dropped a refrigerator?
Well, what was the height of dropping the refrigerator?
Well, Bray Wyatt gets in the limousine and rides back to the arena.
Okay.
And gets in the ring, and Randy Orton appears behind him, and they fight. And then Bray Wyatt won the match. But the whole thing was just fucking
But you're passing over something here. Rewind. You said he dropped a refrigerator on him.
Well, not like he had it tied up in the air. He pushed it over on him.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That makes more sense. I thought he's like dropping it like Wile E. Coyote and an anvil on his head.
Like that old Raw 2 game where we used to set traps for Goldberg.
Yeah, it's like he'd drop an anvil on his head while he's walking backstage. I thought like he pushed a refrigerator off a second-story balcony onto Bray Wyatt. So he just toppled it on him.
Yeah, he just topples him with a refrigerator.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. People were shitting all over it on Twitter.
Shitting as in, why did they do this?
Yeah, just making fun of it like crazy.
Wrestling, man.
I mean, in one sense, it was fucking dumb, but I kind of liked it in another sense. Like, in like 10 years, we'll look back on that as like, remember that ridiculous time Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt fought in a decrepit house?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's what people liked about wrestling, right? It was theatrics.
That's what I loved about it. I mean, obviously last night I was like, I think it could have been done better. Like, I think the fact that they were wrestle fighting made it weird. Like, it didn't feel natural.
Yeah.
Like, if they had filmed it like with better cuts and stuff, like an action movie, I feel like maybe it would have been better. But it was like you're watching them fucking like stomp the ground and punch each other and.
Oh yeah, so like the theatrics of an actual wrestling match as opposed to trying to shoot it like a movie.
Yeah, it was like a weird hybrid, and it was just like odd. And then like after Bray Wyatt drops the refrigerator on Randy Orton, he sits outside and like poses, and the house like turns from blue to red. They had a big blue light on, and it turns red. It's just like, okay.
So the grips are over there like flipping switches.
I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was expecting the house to explode or something. Like, he gets down and poses, and the lights just turn red. I was like, oh.
Well, they probably couldn't blow up the house.
They should have. That'd have been awesome.
That was just the great climax of it. Just the house.
Yeah, the house turns red.
Oh man,
that was the height of that.
So there was that.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute because it was fucking ridiculous.
Let's get more of that in there. I like that. I like that stuff.
Well, if you watch like the Hardy Boys were doing in TNA, like it was ridiculous and dumb, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's sometimes something so stupid it's memorable.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really recall a lot of wrestling storylines, but like you said, you're going to remember that for a long time.
Well, look back on the old WCW days, like when Hulk Hogan was going to the Dungeon of Doom and like finding the Giant trapped in an iceberg.
Is that real?
Dude, you got to go back and look at some of the old WCW movies.
Oh, there's movies.
Well, no, they weren't actual movies. I mean, they were filmed like movies, but they were ridiculous. Like, their storylines were like movie storylines. Like Sting and Hulk Hogan are like hanging out on a beach, and like Vader rides up on a boat, and like he takes a volleyball from kids or some shit.
I probably will have to watch.
Yeah,
some of that.
Need to watch some of that. It's fun.
We need to do some. We need to do like we don't really have a digging deeper segment this week, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll definitely do Guardians next week. So tune in for a spoiler-filled Guardians discussion next week. But
Spider-Man: Homecoming Funko items exclusives were announced. So
hit me with some Funko, making some Dorbs.
Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming is getting all the exclusives have been announced and where you can find them. That is, the GameStop will have a Tony Stark Dorbs with him wearing a kitten shirt. GameStop's also getting a pop of the Vulture that glows in the dark. Hot Topic is getting an unmasked Spider-Man with him in his Tony Stark suit.
Nice.
And then Walmart will have an unmasked Spider-Man in his homemade suit. Target's going to have a 2-pack with Iron Man and Spider-Man. And Best Buy's going to have a 2-pack with Peter Parker and a Spider-Man pop.
I got to say, I'm digging that. I like that Spider-Man homemade suit.
Yeah,
cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like a hoodie kind of situation with goggles, and it doesn't look weird or fake or anything. I don't know. I like the design of that. I think the design of that's really good.
Yeah, it's really catchy, eye-catching. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's just like it's so jarring from what he like a standard slick Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's essentially a unitard with webs on it.
Well, I mean, even in the Sam Raimi ones, he's like basically wearing like a airbrushed hoodie.
Yeah.
With like a what was it? Like a ski mask.
Yeah, I think it was a ski mask or something like that.
Yeah, this one looks really cool though. I think it actually looks pretty rad.
What did you think of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man?
I thought he was a good Peter Parker. I didn't think he was a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, he looked really old. It's like, why is this 40-year-old man?
And I may look back on it and like be like, I don't really care for him as Peter Parker.
Yeah,
especially with
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, he
kills it, man.
He's nailing it. So
he ate up the scene in Civil War, especially when he was just him. Like, I didn't expect that as much, and that's how he got the job. Is he went like he rehearsed up against Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and that's how he finally got the last bit. And I'm glad they went with like an unknown with it, because it made it definitely more interesting to like just watch him become Peter Parker without having any preconceptions to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really helped. I mean, Chris Evans, like we said, we talked about Chris Evans was the Human Torch, and when we were like, oh, he's Captain America too, that seems weird.
But he just he did such a good job.
Yeah, he sold you on American Boy, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked great. But you did go in with that preconceived notion. We just went to Civil War going, oh, it's be interesting to see Spider-Man. I don't know how good he'll do as Peter Parker, but at least we get to see cool Spider-Man. But man,
he's a total package. He's a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man. So
he reminded me of when you watched the first Iron Man and you were just as interested in watching Tony Stark as you were as watching Iron Man. You were just like, you went in there to go, all right, I want to see some robots fighting. But then you were just like, when he was out of his suit interacting with people, was just as interesting. So
yeah, and you were still entertained.
Yeah, which is a good sign of a good superhero movie, is you don't want to just see
them in their superhero form
and fighting and all that stuff.
Right.
How do you feel about Justice League so far? What are your thoughts on it?
I feel like they're trying too hard still. I feel like, and it may be putting them in a bad spot, because I feel like anything they do, you're probably gonna be like, they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
But it does feel like now they're like, oh well, we gotta get away from this dark tone. Let's make jokes. We're like Marvel. Look, we're like Marvel. We have a cinematic universe and we make jokes. We're Marvel. Yeah. But we're DC.
You can't watch a scene, a story, anything in any chat, in any room that has a comment section that's Marvel or DC without 10 comments being about which one's better and why you're fighting over it. And this is I saw something about Spider-Man, and then I was reading some comments, and it was like about 5 or so down. It was like, the only movie that's going to make $1 billion this year is Justice League. And then all of a sudden it turns into a shouting match between Marvel. And I don't know why people do that.
Honestly, I want the Justice League movie to be good. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
The more superhero movies, the better to me. Because I love superhero movies. As long as they're good, I don't give a shit who makes them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I wanted Batman vs. Superman to be good. I hated that movie.
Yeah. It had some okay scenes in it, but it was definitely...
But I was excited to go see it. I was like, yes, Batman vs. Superman. I'm not a DC guy, but I wanted to see it. But I didn't like the movie. And I'm hoping... The one thing I did like about it was Batman. And that wasn't enough of him.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm hoping Justice League gives us a little bit more of Ben Affleck as Batman, because I did enjoy that. And I just hope they don't... I wish they would just kind of take a step back, honestly.
Yeah, just breathe.
Yeah.
You just let your universe grow. It may take you longer to make the profits you want to make, but let it grow and people will appreciate it more.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and stop and get rid of Zack Snyder.
Yeah. I mean, I was okay with him before, but I feel like you can start... It feels like he's making the same movie.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, I like 300. I thought 300 was good. Watchmen was good, too. But all these feel like they're in the same sort of universe, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
They should feel different. And this is probably his last one, I think, his last go-around. Or maybe he's doing Justice League 2. I don't know. I just think it's weird that the Justice League movie is coming out before the other solo movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying there.
Your first taste of Aquaman's going to be in this movie and not in his own.
No, it's not your first taste. He was in Batman vs. Superman on a computer screen.
Yeah. So you never even watched Suicide Squad, did you?
No, I have no desire.
It was okay. It was a fairly big movie, and it was definitely I think a step in almost the right direction.
But I heard it was tonally very bad.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
Because it was apparently two different movies, kind of mashed together.
Yeah, it was the good parts of this part and the good parts of that, because it shifted really quickly.
I just didn't like the designs of the characters either.
Yeah,
the Joker. I absolutely hated his design. He just looks dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. That's for sure. I like a slick looking Joker.
Yeah, I like a Joker that he's crazy, but he also is stylish. And this one, I don't know.
I think the Batman anime series is probably the best Joker, right?
Yeah,
or maybe the Arkham Knight one. I guess they're kind of the same.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't have to be exactly like that, but I don't know. His design was just it felt like, I feel like a lot of movies have this problem now where instead of letting you kind of learn who the characters are through good storytelling and character development, they make them visually look the way they're trying to convey that they are. Like that's my problem with the Ninja Turtles movies, the new ones. It's like, look, Leonardo's the leader. He's kind of like a samurai or whatever. Yeah. Here, let's put a bunch of stuff that makes him look like a samurai all over him. Michelangelo's a party dude. Let's put a bunch of random garbage on him.
Yeah, puka shell necklaces.
Yeah, and it's like, here's the Joker. Look, he's crazy. He wears one glove. It's a surgical glove. He's got damage written on his head, and he tattoos ha 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 all over himself.
Yeah, it was a little telegraphed.
Yeah, it's like, no, just you can make the characters look very simple and still be very powerful.
Yeah.
By their storytelling.
And I think that's what the Marvel movies do well. And this is not a Marvel DC bash. This is simple. This is simple. They tackled it in two different ways.
Yeah, I really want DC to do good.
Yeah.
I want there to be, I would love to see a true, look back in the day of WWE versus WCW, the Monday Night Wars. Those two companies were neck and neck fighting each other every week to put out the better product than the other because they were both battling for ratings. I would love it to get to a point where DC and Marvel are both neck and neck and trying to be the biggest because they're both that good.
Yeah. And we're definitely not bashing on DC at all. It's just, I think, like we said, DC is trying to play catch up. And I think that's sort of, I don't know when the atmosphere changed to everybody's willing to wait for sequels and stuff like that, and everybody wants a connected universe. I don't know if that's like the Netflix sort of thing, Because now everything's bingeable.
Yeah.
You just watch everything in one big blur. I watch Breaking Bad every Christmas in one long thing, and it's awesome. And it's I wonder if I wonder if Marvel is doing that, because if you can watch the Marvel movies,
yeah,
you can watch them in order that they came out, and they work perfectly. There's it's like one big long ass epic movie that leads, especially before the first Avengers come out, because you watch it and you get this story, and you watch it and get this story. It's like really long 2-hour episodes of Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, and you get this character's whole story. And then that character's going to meet this character, and then you get this character's whole story and that character, and it plays like one big long movie, and it ends with the Avengers. It works perfectly, and I think Marvel just got ahead of that before anybody else did, and then everybody, maybe people thought they were crazy, because that was kind of the end of Iron Man, right? Was just I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative or whatever, and everybody freaked out because it was oh, that's awesome. Maybe the next one will have somebody else in it. But Marvel had another plan altogether, which was, no, we're going to put out everybody's movies, and then we're going to put them together. And it was a long, long play. It was years, wasn't it?
Yeah, but when the Avengers finally came, it was oh, my God.
It landed perfectly. Yes. You didn't have to tell a bunch of people's backstories. You didn't have to explain why people were there.
That's going to be the problem with Justice League. You got all these multiple characters that you're going to have to explain who they are, why they are, what they're doing.
And I hope they do something sort of, maybe it'll work, because maybe they'll do a reverse Marvel thing where they won't dwell on everybody's story so much, just show them all fighting together, and they go, oh, he was really good as the Flash, I want to see more of him. And maybe they'll go back to a Flash story.
I don't know.
It could work.
It could.
But who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go see it.
Yeah, I'll definitely go see it. The Wonder Woman trailer doesn't really have me that interested. I don't know.
I like the first one, but I think I think trailers show too much.
Yeah, that's the problem with trailers today. They show too much. Like you said, like we talked about with Spider-Man, it kind of gives away the whole story.
Yeah. We're definitely going to go see it because we're curious, but the mystery is not really there anymore because, here's the whole plot.
Yeah.
And you know the beats it's going to go in.
And do you think trailers really sell people like that? Do you think, like, say you have an established property. Say we know Guardians of the Galaxy was good. Say you had a normal trailer. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes out. What if they only showed a teaser, like a very short teaser? Would you think less people would see it, or do you think the same amount of people would still go see it? This is with the first Guardians already being established as being a good movie.
I want to say it wouldn't matter. I want to say you can say Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and show them in a 30-second teaser trailer, and I would still go see it.
Yeah.
I would still go see it. But I think movie studios always have to work towards getting new people. And if you make an interesting, compelling sort of trailer to somebody who may not have watched the first one, maybe they'll go back and watch the first one and then go see the second one.
What if movie studios did trailers that weren't actually parts of the movie? Like they did like their own little separate filmed 30-second.
I mean, it depends. If you're doing a 30-second Rocket Raccoon thing that's not in there, then you got a lot of people a lot of CG artists working to make him a 30-second clip.
Look at that Deadpool thing, though.
The Deadpool thing is perfect, but Ryan Reynolds and company did that for Logan specifically.
Yeah, and it fits the character of Deadpool. You could do something like that, and it doesn't. Yeah. It won't affect the story of the movie.
There's one thing I wish the world would do, mostly the movie theaters, is I wish they would tell me when the trailers were over. Say the movie starts at 2, or the trailer start at 2, and the movie starts at 2:25. So, because you get there at 2, and you sit through 20 minutes of trailers now, but then you get to see the same trailer over and over again, and it's like there's only so many times I can see a Guardians of the Galaxy trailer before I'm like, I'm over it. I know this trailer front and back. I don't want to see it again, and I feel like having to sit through trailers when you go to the movies feels like a little bit of a punishment almost.
Yeah, I guess they just expect you to figure that out.
Yeah. It's just, you never know. I mean, we started showing the movies 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to sit through trailers anymore because it's not like before. I can click on this computer right here and say Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and watch the trailer right here.
Yeah.
And I can click on here and watch Transformers for the 40th time.
Yeah, it's not like back in the day when that was our...
That was your source of trailers.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to see it again, then you would go...
I think the theater should have exclusive trailers or something exclusive.
Yeah.
That's not online.
Yeah, there's something that, you can't show everybody. I just wish they would do that, or I wish they would just cut trailers out altogether. I don't know if we need them anymore.
It's not going to happen.
I know, but I can dream, can't I?
No.
I cannot dream. We got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, McDonald's introduced the Frork.
Digging deeper with the Frork.
We're going to dig deeper with the Frork today. So I don't understand this.
Explain to me what this is again.
Okay, I watched a commercial about McDonald's getting new dipping sauces, and apparently the Frork is the fry fork. So instead of a fork that you apparently eat sauce with, because nobody does that, apparently you put a couple of fries in this little plastic holder and you dip them into the thing and then you eat it. It doesn't make sense. That seems like way more work to put a bunch of fries in a plastic holder instead of just dipping them.
Yeah, well,
The world we live in, we live in the world of the Frork now.
Well, have you seen that fork that spins, like, to get your spaghetti? It's like an automatic spinning.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Well, is it like thick as hell?
Yeah.
With a little like gyroscope in it?
Pretty much. It's like...
Are we getting lazier?
Are you that fucking lazy?
Are we getting lazier for real?
I'm not. I mean, I guess somebody is.
Is like the world getting lazier? Because I remember when you used to want to watch a TV show, you had to get like a VCR, you had to set the time, and you had to record, and then you had to stop when it was over. And now you can literally talk into your remote and say, record Ash versus the Evil Dead, and it does it for you.
Yeah.
That's as simple as talking to your... I mean, it's just like... I don't know if you ever saw WALL-E, but I feel like that's where the world's going.
Yeah, we're going there.
We're just going to be like fat people sitting on scooters, not doing anything for ourselves. And the Frork is proof.
Isn't technology grand?
I mean, I like technology to an extent, but I think it does bring the worst out in people sometimes, or the lazy out in people. I don't know. I don't understand the Frork. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
I had to say it, though.
We're gonna get one and we're gonna review it.
We're gonna review the Frork.
Yeah.
Check out PT's Toy Box, the review of the Frork. That's a good idea. It would be so stupid. I don't understand it, but that's basically it. It seems like
we'll understand it together.
It seems like you put 3 French fries into a plastic holder and then you dip it, which seems a lot harder than just dipping your goddamn French fries.
There's probably it probably tastes better.
How? It's the same fry. It sprinkles fairy dust on it and makes your fries taste better. Who knows?
You think there's gonna be like commercials? Like commercials these days just piss me off. But like, you imagine like this would like some cool dude showing how cool he is, like doing Frork tricks.
It's like a slow motion Frork flip. That's hard to say.
And he's like
and he flips it and it goes in slow motion. And
catching fries in it and stuff. It's gonna be. It's gonna happen. Either that or we're gonna film it ourselves. And
we should make a Frork commercial, like a Frork Mountain Dew commercial, because they made a Mountain Dew called Dew SA. Do you know what that is?
Oh, weren't we supposed to talk about this last week?
We were. Do you know what Mountain Dew SA is? And I have a conspiracy theory about Mountain Dew.
Let's go.
That I'm going to tell you about.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so Mountain Dew SA is just a combination of all the Mountain Dew colors. It's Code Red, it's the white one, and whatever the blue one was.
Well, they're all terrible individually, so I can't imagine how good they are.
Everybody says it tastes like a bomb pop. But anyway, my original theory is that so Mountain Dew would do this thing where they would release 3 flavors and then everybody would vote, and I use vote in quotation marks on it. And so it was because Code Red was successful, and then they made Livewire, which was and then so they decided to put out 3 flavors, and I don't even remember what the other ones were, but the blue one won. And I was like, okay, blue one won, that's fine. And then they released another set, and it was like orange, purple, and white. And I said, I'll give you $1 million if this white Mountain Dew does not win. And everybody's like, why? Because look, it's going to be red, white, and blue Mountain Dew. Nobody voted for that. That was planned well in advance. So you can make Mountain Dew the flavor of America.
Well,
and now Dew SA is out. Done. The conspiracy's complete.
Let's get WikiLeaks on this and see if I can unfold some
it's true,
emails.
Man. It's totally, because if you go to the store, you can look at it. It looks like an American flag, red, white, and blue, sitting right next to each other. And the white one was disgusting. Actually, the white one tasted like squirt. It was all right.
It'll probably be the death of a bunch of people.
Yeah, but basically, Dew SA is just a mixture of the Code Red, the blue one, and the white one from Mountain Dew in one can.
That sounds fucking awful.
Mountain Dew SA, America style.
You'll die if you drink this shit.
I mean, it can't taste good, right?
Hey, did you hear energy drinks like change your heart rate? Like,
oh yeah, energy drinks are bad for you. Shocker of the year.
There you go.
The thing that has 9,000 calories of caffeine in it might be bad for your heart.
Yeah, it could cause irregular heart beating.
Don't drink energy drinks.
Yeah, have fun with that. I know a couple of people who basically live on fucking energy drinks.
Yeah,
like all the time. It's all they drink, just constantly. And I'm like, how are you not dead?
What is the difference between an energy drink and coffee?
I don't really know.
Is it a lot of like? There's probably more chemicals in an energy drink, right?
Yeah, it's definitely more chemically and more. I think, obviously, coffee is mostly coffee bean.
Yeah.
And then, obviously you put creamer and stuff in it. But
I've never had coffee in my life.
Coffee's delicious.
I've tasted coffee once, and I was like, this tastes like dirt water.
Well, I mean, you don't drink it black. Some people drink it black, but I mean, if you put flavored creamer in it, it's good.
Is it? I'm gonna have to try it. For some reason, I can't get into coffee, and I feel like I would enjoy it. I feel like the caffeine burst would help me out.
One day, Chit and Chad are going to sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Well, I mean, it's sort of daunting. It's sort of like trying to pick up video games now if you've never played them in your life. It's like, where do I start? There's hazelnut. There's 4,000 different kinds of coffee.
We're going to get a camera. We're going to take Nick to a Starbucks and be like, this man has never drank coffee. What do you recommend?
Oh, my God.
And we're going to see what happens.
It's going to be a decaf frappa mochaccino thing. They're going to be the unicorn drink. We're getting on bizarre consumer products now. Starbucks has a unicorn drink.
Hey, we said we were digging. I heard that thing's terrible.
It looks terrible.
I heard it's gross.
It looks like cotton candy.
I heard it tastes like nothing.
How does it taste like nothing?
I don't know. Apparently, it's so much, it's nothing.
It's just like an overwhelming sensation of flavors. It looks like cotton candy. Google the unicorn drink from Starbucks. It's just a bunch of colors.
My coffee should not look like that. That's all
It
I'm
looks
saying.
like rainbow in a cup.
Coffee should be brown in some form or fashion.
That was a good weird tangent. What
Yeah.
went on?
Hey, we dug deeper.
All started with the Frork of all things.
Oh, we got some good material coming from that. When's that coming out? Did it say?
It doesn't say. I'll look it up. We'll either review it on the podcast next week or we'll do a video review on it.
Oh boy.
I don't know if it's a toy, so we can't do it on PT's Toy Box, but
We'll do it. We'll just do it.
we'll just do it. Just anywhere.
We'll see if we can get sponsored by the Frork.
Can we pretend like the Frork is the greatest invention? Can we make one of those infomercials where it's really difficult to eat fries unless you have the Frork?
Yeah, like
oh,
you thought you couldn't hold your French fries before.
try to hold more than 3 French fries, idiot. And this guy's like, he just drops them and then he falls off a cliff. Have you ever seen? That's one of my favorite commercials. Our favorite commercial things is infomercials where people just can't do stuff.
Yeah, like remember the Snuggie? Like, can you answer the phone with a blanket? Nope.
Nope. You can't stay warm and answer the phone with a blanket. You need a blanket with sleeves.
You'll get too tangled up in the blanket. It's too much for you.
My favorite was people like trying to make eggs. They make these egg flipper things where it's like it cracks the egg for you and puts it in there and throws the egg away. I don't know how it works. It's like a Rob Robot thing. But like it shows the people trying to make eggs and they smash it against like the side of the pan and like shell goes in there and they like stick their fingers in there and start pulling it out. It's like, what kind of idiot can't just crack an egg on the side of a pan?
Well,
Oh God.
do SA, man.
Do SA. Do SA. We'll leave it on that. It's because of Do SA.
Next week we're gonna be sponsored by Mountain Dew SA and the Frork.
We should definitely have a Do SA on camera when we're eating Frork fries.
God, we're gonna die.
We're going to die. Remember when I gave you that surge during the Power Rangers video? You were insane during that video.
I gave up sodas like 2 years ago completely, and you gave me a surge. So
Surge. Oh, it was good. It was a good video. You should watch it. Check out our Power Rangers Mega Battle Let's Play.
yeah, just check us out on YouTube. We have all kinds of videos.
We're trying to get back into Let's Plays. I'm gonna play Outlast 2 soon because it just came out. And you know what? That's a pretty awesome game. Outlast 2, brand new game, 15-hour campaign, $30.
Nice.
Good deal there, people.
You should play Brief Karate Foolish.
What is Brief Karate Foolish?
It's on Steam. Just go find it. It's good.
Word. I'm gonna do that.
Good.
Can you not tell me what it is?
No.
I should just let it go.
You should just download it and play it. It's really good. It's a good fighting game.
Brief Karate Foolish.
Yeah, it's
I'm writing that down.
delightful.
Stay tuned for a mystery play, Brief Karate Foolish, because I'm totally gonna buy that and play that and release that.
I think it's free.
That's free? Oh, even better. I'm always into free games.
Yeah, it's good. It's really in deep game.
It's a really deep game.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. Well, that's about it for us, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this thing up.
That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed our the Frork, man. It brought in all kinds of conversation pieces.
Let us know in the comment section below what you think of the Frork.
I'm gonna have to put like
Somebody needs to send us photos. Like somebody needs to send us like fan photos of like you eating with the Frork.
yes, send us fan photos of you eating with the Frork, and also send us videos of you trying to eat with regular French fries because that's impossible.
Yeah, I want to see the difference.
I want to see the. I saw a picture of it. It's basically like a little red fork with no prongs. It's plastic, and then it has 3 fries in it that are about an inch long.
That sounds fucking brilliant. Somebody got paid to invent that.
It sounds weird because it sounds like you dip it in the barbecue sauce or the chipotle sauce, and then you lick it off. So now you have these wet ass fries at the end of your fork.
That sounds disgusting.
Well, unless you're replacing your 3 fries every time you dip it into something.
I guess you have to.
It sounds like a waste of time. The fry should come out of it like a Play-Doh dispenser.
Oh yeah, see.
Oh, I just invented a better
That's
fork.
Ingenuity right there.
I just invented a better fork. Let me know what you think of my fork idea. McDonald's, I'm available. That idea is yours. That idea is yours for $1 million.
$300 million.
$300 million. Trademark applies to Tombstone.
Trademark applies to Tombstone. the better fork.
Frork 2.0.
Forkier.
It's forkier than the Frork. Oh, that was a good one. So, please like and subscribe and all that good stuff.
Check us out on SoundCloud and YouTube and social media. Any social media site, we're there.
Yeah, and let us know what you think of our podcast. We're gonna keep releasing it. And
what did you say? Let us know what you think about podcast.
No, our podcast, not podcasts in general. Hey, what are your thoughts about podcasts? I like them. Oh, thanks. No, our podcast. We're working on this. We're trying to get Corey here. He's working 2 jobs now.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get him back on here, and he's working on Pop Culture Geekly. So he's working on it with other people. So we're expanding our reach.
So maybe some people, we'll get some more guests on here.
Yep. I'm gonna start working on Skyping people in maybe, so we can get people who have thoughts on things. So
people have thoughts on things.
People have thoughts on things, certain things. So
good. You can look forward to that. Look forward to people who have thoughts on things.
Thoughts on things. We know your thoughts. We don't have a Frork expert on Skype, so
well, we'll Skype Andrew one day and see if he knows what he knows about the fork.
What if we Skype him and he's eating with a fork? It'd blow our minds.
It will be. I hope we were filming that day.
We definitely will. But thanks for listening, and until next time,
stay groovy.